Hey guys, my name is Larry Blundred, founder of Ollie Otter Adventures, whose mission statement is to help prepare and boost the next generation of young pickleball players and instill in them a grateful, positive spirit, an I can do it mindset in approaching life and pickleball no matter what. Let's start with book one, How Pickleball Saved Ollie Otter. How can four critters, each with distinct, challenging family situations, living thousands of miles apart in different countries, meet and connect? What can help them find hope and believe in themselves? Is it the pickleball family and a community? Discover how it starts with Ollie Otter in this book, How Pickleball Saved Ollie Otter. When Mr. and Mrs. Pickleball finished their game, they saw Ollie Otter sitting under a big oak tree. "Well, hello there, Ollie Otter," said Mrs. Pickleball. "What can we do for you?" "Tell me a story," said Ollie. "I would be delighted," said Mrs. Pickleball, setting herself beside him and petting his furry brown head. Once there was a lonely little otter from Traverse City, Michigan. His name was Ollie. Ollie splashed in the stream and made burrows in the earth. His waterproof fur kept him warm, but Ollie felt sorry for himself because he was all alone. One day, while hunting for a big, juicy fish, he heard some strange sounds. Dink, doink, pop. Ollie wondered what was making these sounds. He crawled out of the wet stream, through the dense forest, up the steep green hill. Dink, doink, pop. He heard it again, until he spied a family of otters laughing and having a good time hitting a ball back and forth over a net. Mama Otter said, "Would you like to play?" Ollie hung his head and said, "I wish I could, but I'm all alone." "Come on, be part of the group," said Papa Otter. The little otters put a paddle in Ollie's paw. "Hit the ball," they encouraged. Ollie did. It was fun. "What is this game?" Ollie asked. "Pickleball," the otters shouted and gave Ollie a big group hug. "Welcome to the family, Ollie. You're one of us now." Under the oak tree, Ollie leaned back and sighed, "I like that story so much, almost as much as I like pickleball. Are there other stories about critters that can play pickleball?" "Why, yes," said Mrs. Pickleball. Robbie Raccoon lived in California's Red Forest. He wasn't all alone, like Ollie. He had his grandmother. He was small, though, for his age. Sometimes he was afraid to try new things, so he gave him lots of encouragement. "Encouragement is mighty important," agreed Mr. Pickleball. Mrs. Pickleball patted her husband's hand and went on with the story. Like all raccoons, Robbie played at night and napped during the day. One day, during an afternoon nap, he and Grandmother Raccoon heard some strange noises. Dink, doink, pop. With black masks protecting their eyes from the sun's glare, they set out to see what was making those sounds. Their hand-like paws helped them scamper around giant redwood trees and through huge green clover, around prickly, juicy fruited blackberry bushes. Dink, doink, pop. There's that noise again. Until they came to a place where four raccoons were playing pickleball. Dink, doink, pop went the ball as the raccoons hit it back and forth across the net. "Would you like to play?" they asked Robbie. Robbie hung his head shyly. "Oh no, I'm too small." "Nonsense," they said, and handed Robbie a paddle. "No one is ever too small to play pickleball." Robbie practiced hitting the ball. After a few tries, he hit the ball just like them. Playing pickleball made him feel welcome, accepted, and happy. Good story, said Ollie Otter. Don't forget Wally Wallaby from Australia, reminded Mr. Pickleball. When I first met him, I thought he was a kangaroo, but I learned wallabies are smaller and stockier than kangaroos. Mrs. Pickleball told Wally's story. One day, Wally couldn't find his mother. He was lost. He cried and cried. He wanted to snuggle back into his mother's warm pouch, but she wasn't around anymore. Was he cold? Asked Ollie Otter. Wally was cold for a long time, explained Mrs. Pickleball. Ollie's eyes filled with tears, thinking about how sad that must have been for Wally. Mrs. Pickleball pulled him close and went on with the story. After many shivering nights, he found a mother wallaby looking for a baby of her own. She said, "Jump into my warm pouch, little wallaby." It was comfy, cozy inside her pouch. Wally's new mother adopted him and made him her very own baby. He was so happy to have a mommy who loved him. One day, Wally and his mother were eating grass and plants and heard a strange sound. Dink, doink, pop. With Wally inside her pouch, Mother Wallaby hopped through a dark cave, over big gray boulders, around tall, swishy grasses, whispering in the wind, until she came to a pickleball court where 4 wallabies were playing pickleball. Wally asked what they were doing, and his mother told him they were playing a game. Wally wasn't shy. He hopped right out his mother's pouch and asked to play. "Of course," said the other wallabies. "You and your mother can be pickleball partners." Wally liked the word partners. It meant he belonged to someone. Dink, Mama Wallaby hit the ball. Donk, someone hit it back. Dink, Wally hit the ball. Doink, someone hit it back. Dink, donk, pop. They played and were so happy. They agreed to meet up to play pickleball every day. "Do you like that story?" asked Mrs. Pickleball. Ollie Otter didn't say anything. He was too busy thinking about all the happiness brought on by pickleball. Mr. Pickleball leaned back against a tree. "That's a nice story, Mrs. Pickleball. Do you remember Polly Penguin, who lives far away in Chile, South America?" "I certainly do," agreed Mrs. Pickleball with a big grin on her face. When Polly was just an egg, the weather was so cold, Polly almost froze to death inside his eggshell. Papa Penguin sat on Wally's lonely egg to keep it warm. Hard winds blew, temperatures dropped, but still he sat on the egg. One day, Polly hatched out of his shell. Now they could be a family. Polly snuggled beneath Papa's wing to keep him warm. While eating fish and squid in their nest, they heard something that sounded almost like music. Dink, doink, pop. With flippers at their sides, they waddled and waddled amid the hard, thick grasses and twiggy brush, through thick, dense fog, over rough, rocky coasts, until they came to a pickleball game. Their black and white heads swiveled back and forth, silently watching the action. Finally, Polly Penguin could stand it no longer. "May I play?" he called. "Yes," they shouted. "Come join us for pickleball. Everyone is welcome." Polly held a paddle with his flipper and swung just like they did. He even hit the ball over the net. Papa and Polly learned to play pickleball. It was such fun, they decided to come back the next day, and the next day, and the next day after that. A thought suddenly occurred to Ollie Otter. I wish there were some way we could bring all 4 critters together to play pickleball. There is, said Mrs. Pickleball. How about a pickleball tournament? Yes, said Mr. Pickleball. And she went off to print some flyers that said, please come to Cincinnati, Ohio for a pickleball tournament on May 16th. Mr. Pickleball folded the flyers, stuffed them in envelopes, and mailed them to critters all over the world. On May 16 in Cincinnati, the city was flooded with pickleball players. Their loving families came to watch. At the tournament, dink, doink, pop could be heard everywhere. What was that sound? It was the sound of the paddle hitting the pickleball. Dink, doink, pop. Ollie Otter met Robbie Raccoon and Paulie Penguin and Wally Wallaby. They became fast friends and learned that pickleball is for everyone. No matter your age, no matter your size, no matter where you're from. With big smiles on their faces, the critters joined together in a group cheer. Rah, 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 pickleball, pickleball forever. And ever, shouted Ollie Otter, leaping joyfully in the air. Mrs. Pickleball smiled contentedly. Pickleball certainly saved Ollie. And all his critter friends, added Mr. Pickleball, and so much more, cheered all the critters. And guess who said, Mama, can I use your phone? Time for a group selfie. Ollie, of course, took the picture. Thanks for joining us today. Remember, pickleball is for everyone. No matter your size, your shape, your background, it's all about smiles. Smile with Ollie and smile with pickleball.